What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some boxing news. So it looks like Hall of Famer George Foreman has teamed up with Bob Arum and Top Rank, as well as his sons George the 18th, to form Foreman Boy Promotions. I believe I said that correctly. He has a promotional company now. This is crazy to me. I respect, like I said, I respect the legends. George Foreman's a legend. I myself have a Foreman grill. I like Foreman, but Foreman Boy Promotions, I don't know. Um, Boxing is it's a very tricky sport, I guess you could say. And just because you are a former boxer or a great boxer doesn't necessarily mean people are going to want to join your promotional company. I'm not saying nobody will, but I mean, starting any company, any business, like here's a random fact. I don't know if you guys know this, but well, I'll give you two random facts. One has nothing to do with what I was about to say, but one, most I think is there's a statistic. I think it's like 90% of new businesses fold in the first year. Maybe it's a restaurant business. I don't know. One of the two. But I mean, that's pretty much true. If you're going to struggle, it's probably going to be in your first year. And that's with any business. So we'll see how George Foreman does. Again, just being seasoned in the sport gives him an edge, but at the same time, starting any new business, especially George Foreman is generations ago. Like, he hasn't fought at a competitive level that I know of for quite some time. There's a whole new generations that love Canelos and Adrian Broners and stuff, and they probably have never seen one George Foreman fight in their entire life, including Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, which is a classic. And any boxing fan who is a fan of the sport or call yourself a fan, you should make sure you make an opportunity or set the time aside to see such a classic fight. Again, I like Foreman. Top Rank seems a little bit scandalous, in my opinion. I just don't know how successful it'll be. You've seen 50 Cent and SMS Promotions. He's not really doing that great. Billy Dib is one of his marquee fighters, I guess you can say. Just lost to Gradovich, lost his title. Gamboa, after a 15-month layoff, looked not spectacular on the Pacquiao Marquez 4 undercard. Um, and he's been indicted, or not indicted, excuse me, implicated in a PED scandal. So I'm pretty sure that doesn't necessarily help his career. Even Adrian Broner, him getting in a fight at a club, that's negative publicity. But for some knuckleheads and dumb people, that's going to make them check for Adrian Broner. Like, oh, he's fighting at the club. Um, some people can resonate with that. Most people don't resonate with cheating. Like, and I'm not saying Gamboa did do it, but um, that's the type of negative publicity that's just 100% negative. Whereas you have a situation like Broner, and I'm not saying it's right. I think it's ignorant. I think he needs to make sure he's professional and immature, or not immature, and carry himself as such. You're a celebrity now, so you have to act like one, and just know that the microscope's always going to be on you at all times. But again, fighting in the club, an assault, some people will spin it to make it like, oh, that's cool, like he's fighting, like, I don't know. It's more relatable to some demographics, I guess you could say, as opposed to steroids. So who knows if Gamboa did it? But anyway, 50 Cent, his stable is not looking solid. He tried to sign Gary Russell Jr., who has been looking impressive and is looking to step up in competition. Gary Russell Jr. said he's content with his situation and that he is not wanting to sign to 50 Cent at the time. So I'm curious to see who is willing to sign with George Foreman at this rate. Um, I made a video about HBO splitting and severing ties with Golden Boy. I definitely think long term that hurts them tremendously, and not hurts them as a network because they are a powerhouse. They have shows like Boardwalk Empire, True Blood, and stuff like that. But I'm talking about their sporting department, their sporting boxing unit. I think not working with Golden Boy, who has a much deeper roster, is going to substantially hurt their business because fans won't be able to turn to HBO to see certain fights that we really want to see. Danny Garcia versus Matisse, if that were to happen in the future. Lucas Matisse versus Peterson. Um, Canelo, Trout. You know what I mean? These are the types of fights. Canelo versus anyone. He has a huge fan base. Amir Khan versus Garcia rematch. Um, these are the type of fights that we won't be able to see on HBO, and there's some good matchups in there. So, George Foreman, new promotional company, Foreman Boy Promotions. I'm anxious to see who's willing to sign, who's ready to sign. Um, oh yeah, here's my other fact. George Foreman, the Foreman grill, the patent for the Foreman grill, before it was presented to George Foreman, because another company actually came out with the design and the patent, and then they looked for a celebrity to endorse it or market it. That was originally designed and had Hulk Hogan in mind. It was going to be the Hogan grill, but Hulk Hogan he opted not to go with it, and instead I think he put his name on some kind of blender, the Hogan blender or some shit. And the crazy thing is, you guys are probably thinking, Hogan blender? I never heard of that. Neither have I, and most people haven't. So that just goes to show you that business venture was shitty, and nobody invested in it. And Foreman picked up the Foreman grill, and the rest is history. A lot of people have Foreman grills. I got a Foreman grill. I got like two. So, little tiny Foreman fact, if you will. Let me know what you guys think of his new promotional company. That's all I gotta say. Hate, comment, subscribe. Until next videos, Ego, signing off.